Oh, I guess while we on sports and whatnot, what do you think about the whole Skip Bayless thing?
That's my boy, bruh. That's my boy, man. I don't
Uh,
know.
I do
Look,
think he's getting like, well, I don't know what
hold
happened
on.
behind the scenes between him and his colleagues or, the people he
I'm,
sat across with.
I'll tell
But
you
in
what.
regards to how he's being treated by the fans, I think that's pretty uncalled for. I think these people got to
Yeah,
relax.
yeah. Nah, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know where this weird ass narrative of Skip Bayless being this racist and all this like weird ass stuff that they talking about. Like, just because you don't like somebody, don't mean that they a fucking racist. Yo.
They just
Like,
be
man, we need
making
to
stuff
cut that
up.
shit
It's
out.
like they do that all the time. It's like, oh, I don't like this guy. This guy's white. Oh, he's
He's a
racist.
racist. Look,
And it's
he's
like, what has he ever done or iterated that was racist? He doesn't like LeBron James. Okay, and what the one of the most controversial moments he had was that he told it was Damar Hamlin, but it's like for a lot of people it wasn't necessary. It wasn't controversial. I didn't think anything was controversial with what he tweeted,
no,
what he said. I think it was
nah.
just people being overly
I don't
emotional,
like
overly
you. I
sensitive.
got an excuse to
Exactly.
hate. This is
Yeah,
what I've been
exactly.
waiting for.
And
Nah,
so it's like certain things, yeah, like certain things are just private matters between him and his relationship to Shannon Sharp or him and his relationship to Stephen A. Smith. That ain't none of my business. But I do think, a level of appreciation got to be done on what he brought to the game, what he brought to sports media. And as he doesn't like, he was just some goofy dude,
yeah,
goofy journalist. Like, if old men or just old people in general, they're stuck in their ways, they have their point of view, they're going to ride on that. And he had his guys who he ride and die for. That was Michael Jordan. That was Tom Brady. That was Tim Tebow, Dallas Cowboys. But it's like when a lot of people say it's like, oh, it's the same recycled segments, the same recycled talking points. It's like that's all of sports media.
yeah.
It's like
Nah,
we're
for
gonna talk about
sure.
the Cowboys, we're gonna talk about LeBron, we're gonna talk about Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. Like that's
Nah,
it.
facts. I just I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I love.
Yeah.
He be committed to hating. I love that shit. Like this motherfucker built the whole legacy. He a millionaire off of hating. Like who don't? How is that not everybody dream? Like y'all can just hate on motherfuckers and build an empire and change the world and media and sports. Just hate
Yeah,
on
that's facts. That's
them. Like
facts.
do you
Yeah.
remember? Obviously, you don't remember. This motherfucker in the '90s was calling Troy Aikman gay and shit. Like he just
Really? But I think I did hear
forever.
that before. I think I did hear that
Yeah.
before. That's
It's
wild.
just like what the fuck. And then everybody
Yeah.
like, we gonna give him a spotlight, man. He doing something. Like that's what
Yeah.
that's what everybody is like. ESPN, everybody's like, we gonna give him a spotlight. He doing something. Like he people fucking with it, but I don't like the whole weird shit with he wearing Jordans and trying to appeal to people and all this stuff. Like, bro, I don't care,
Oh,
bro.
who
Like,
cares? And the thing is, I think what it comes down to is that people are now teasing him or making fun of him, saying, "Oh, look, his TV shows are falling. He's not a star. Nobody cares about him. He's irrelevant." Or look at his podcast; he's irrelevant.
so
But I think you you're looking at it at a certain type of lens, whereas people viewing him as like the star of the show, but maybe that was never who he was. Like maybe he's somebody that puts other people on. Maybe he's somebody who knows how to play like second fiddle to, or knows how to play off of people where you need a tag team, you need another partner who he can feed off of, build that energy.
a
Like he
king
put a lot of people on in the industry.
a
He
kingmaker.
he's a kingmaker. And so don't look at him in a lens like, oh, he's not the center of the show, the star of the show, but he's the maker of the show. He's the kingmaker. And like
Yeah.
even the people who do have disagreements now, for whatever private matters they have, that's between them. But Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, as well as other people that came in and out of First Take, came in and out of Undisputed, Chris Broussard, Rob Parker's. A lot
Fox
of people got,
Sports.
huh?
Fox Sports.
Fox Sports literally like is Fox Sports literally
Him and
was
Colin.
him and Colin Cowherd, and now you have Nick Wright. But a lot of these people got their initial start on, and people just took a take. I don't understand what got these people all so emotional, but it's like
I
maybe
do.
he's a kingmaker, and he made people, and I think people should respect that.
I, it was the LeBron hate. I'm telling you,
Oh yeah,
it
no,
was
I
the
know it's
LeBron
LeBron hate.
hate.
Yeah,
It's the LeBron hate. Look, the LeBron hate got motherfuckers turning back on the '90s. That whole movement that we done with the 90s, it's because everybody loved MJ and all of that shit. And MJ still better. LeBron can't do shit. MJ still better, which I agree with. But I think that made everybody go and say, fuck the 90s. We shitting on y'all, da da da. And that's what happened with the Skip shit. So now they just like, oh, we don't fuck with him, blah blah. He a racist. He is like, bro, chill. He hating on LeBron. We gonna be okay. Like, at least he ain't hating on Bronny. Like, if you start hating on Bronny, that's when you go like, this motherfucker kind of a piece of shit a little bit.
But if you heard it, listen to his segments on Bronny, he was probably one of the nicest people and gave Bronny a pass.
Yeah, for sure.
And but so just, a lot of that was overblown. So now,
and hold on. It's just okay. Maybe he ain't that dude like he was at one point in time. And Skip Bayless, he be saying some wild ass shit. Like, cool. Yeah. But for what, not everybody can do what he do, the way that he do it. But if you watch Walking Dead, they was breaking all kind of records, and then it just turned to shit. Yeah. So like certain shows can only, you know what I mean? The stars can't shine the brightest it's ever shined forever.
And I can't remember
That's
who
why
said
you
it.
have peaks. Everybody peak at a certain point in time, and then you kind of fade out or whatever else. But
and I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Nick Wright. But it's like, you have to give respect to the fact that the man held on as long as he did. I mean, he's essentially been part of sports media for 25, 30 years.
And how old is he?
He's like pushing 80.
It's like, wow.
It's like you have a guy who's had like a 30-year run on being essentially the focal point of sports news and sports debates. And it's like, that deserves credit. Now, so I do understand. I do agree with Nick Wright, where he said, like, yo, there should have been a proper send-off for the guy. And it shouldn't have been a send-off for Pete.
But they
said, I know he didn't want it. He didn't want it. Yeah, I know he didn't want it. But still, it's like, whether it was, you know, an honoring from ESPN, it's like, we don't know if he retired or not, but thank you for 25 years or 20 years. Or same with Fox Sports. I mean, you relied on him and Colin Cowherd to build the entire network. And from what I understood, maybe I'm wrong, Fox Sports didn't even want Shannon Sharp. It was Skip Bayless that pushed for Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
And it's just
like he pushed for Stephen A.
Yeah. And where ESPN didn't even know if they was going to keep him on the payroll, period.
No, he was done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Radio.
Yeah,
the only
that's
reason why he was able to come back on camera was because of Skip Bayless. Yeah.
And so it's like, respect got to be given to Skip Bayless. So whether Fox Sports, you know, send out some on social media, like a fucking 5-minute clip honoring, or ESPN, doing some type of tribute, I think that's well deserved. And I think people need to relax on the man.
Yeah,
his podcast sucks, but
why you saying suck?
I mean, I knew it instantly when it first came out. I didn't really understand the direction he was going with it. But I don't know, it's weird. It feels like a
80-year-old dude talking about sports.
It feels like a diary, in a sense, if that makes any sense. Like, it feels like, because it's like, it doesn't feel like he's talking. It doesn't feel like he's talking on the camera. His YouTube podcast is to engage with the audience. It feels like he's just like, hey, these are everything that's happened throughout my career and my life. This is my opinion on, or my beliefs, or this is how I feel. And then that's it. That's the cutoff. But it really doesn't seem like there's an engagement with the audience, engagement with the fans, or engagement to anyone, period. And so it feels like more of just like him journaling his life story.
Yeah, I think he can figure it out, though. He just needs somebody to kind of help, like, hey, this is how it's moving nowadays. Just kind of move it to that angle a little bit. But, yeah, I am curious to see what he do next. Because, I mean, he's done with ESPN, I'm assuming, and he's done with FS1. So it's like, those like usually like the only two you can go. I don't think he's trying to go on XM radio. I don't even know if motherfuckers still listen to that shit, respectfully. But yeah, I don't know.
One person I do want to see back is Max Kellerman.
I was thinking about if him and Max. Skip and Max.
That'd be hilarious.
I was thinking that
would be hilarious.
And you know who you throw in there?
Oh, Jason Whitlock or Marcellus Riley?
Nope. You would never guess.
Let me guess. Is it somebody who was been on the couch before?
Nope.
Or somebody completely different?
An athlete.
Oh, what athletes would you throw in there?
it's a certain one. I think with him and Max would go. I think they would go.
But
A lot.
is this athlete in the media? Like, have I
Got a
seen him? Or
podcast. Not really on no. Got a podcast.
you talking about Kwame Brown?
Nah. That's the hell, Mary. Look, it's one guy that you gotta get. It's Kwame. No, I respect him, everything you're doing, but hell no, I'm not talking about Kwame. He said Kwame.
Oh, you said it's left
You
field.
dug
So I
it
was
up.
gonna say, how
Yeah,
left
you
field
would
can
have
I
never
get?
I would expect that you would never guess Kwame. That's true.
Right. Yeah. All right. So who is it?
NFL player.
It's an NFL player.
Yeah.
Has a podcast. I probably never guessed. Like, if I just threw out a couple names,
You would now, but
what, Aaron Donald or
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton? Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think if you had Cam Newton, Max Kellerman, and Skip, that is just it hit on everything. And then
That's it.
I think that would be
Yeah, that's it. Even if you had just Skip Bayless and Cam Newton, like that'll be
yes,
like
would.
that'd be like a Shannon Sharp Skip 2.0 type of thing.
I know, but I think Cam, he add that extra, you know what I mean? He
Yeah,
make
he has a flair.
he make it exotic a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He had that flair
Yeah.
to it. Like I
Now
think
that would be
would
pretty
be
interesting for sure.
crazy.
Now that would be interesting for sure. I mean, that'd be an industry play. That'd be a money play. I think for everybody involved.
And Cam, he even said it. He made a statement on his podcast like, "Yo, Skip, your show, everything else, hit me up if you want to do something. We can figure something out."
Yeah, because like Skip Bayless is like in a certain role, Skip Bayless is a kingmaker. Like just sitting down, talking sports, talking and shit. Like he's great at that, and he attract viewers because people watch him that they hate watch.
Yeah, and I think Cam Newton would be like. I don't think that he is what he could be. I think he could probably like maybe get to like maybe not necessarily a Shannon level, but like somewhere in the Shannon sphere.
No, that's true. And it's like
he got cash in. He been to Super Bowl MVP, and
that's actually. And I think most people would agree that like the way Cam Newton's career sort of like fizzled out doesn't seem like fairly. Yeah, he got played, doesn't feel fair or anything at all. So I'm not rock with him.
And he never had a receiver.
Yeah. Now he did have Stephen Smith.
Was it by name only?
Nah, I think he still got him on when he was like, he was in the first half of his career. Because even after that, like Stephen Smith still did like another 3-4 years in Baltimore.
Okay, well he had Steve Smith, and I no disrespect to I think Steve Smith a dog.
Yeah, correct.
How many years did he? What, 2 years? 1 year? 2 years?
Nah, I would have guessed he was with Cam for at least 4.
Really?
Yeah. I would have guessed. I don't know. But I would love to see Max Kellerman back for sure.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that would be I think
that'd be legit. That'd be legit.
Yeah.
Especially like Max Kellerman too is like Max Kellerman is extremely intelligent and nuanced. Certain things, of course,
I just don't like that he be acting like he is though. It's like a fine chick acting like she fine. Like that's kind of like
I never got that. I always got like Max Kellerman for me, it always came off as more sort of like it's more relaxed and cool about it. Like it never came off as sort of arrogant. It always came out of more sort of like a swagger to it.
Oh.
Like you guys talk, you debate, and then next thing you know, he'll just drop a gem.
He said a couple things politically.
I mean, yeah, that's the only thing. You can't agree with people 100%. That was the only thing I would really disagree with.
It's not necessarily. Sometimes it's how you saying it, and sometimes it is literally what you saying. When he's like, "Well, these voters are not the smartest," or whatever, it's just like, "Yo, everybody got their thing. Who gives a fuck?" Yeah. But he's just like this, like so matter of fact about it. But I like him though. He cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously, everybody got their things. Nobody perfect, whatever. But I think that would be dope. I would love to see that. I don't know what network they would even go on.
You just do this shit online.
They do it like oh boy, like the kicker. they set they shit up like him,
I mean, like that. I mean, really,
Cappy type deal.
all you need is a table and a camera. Do that shit online. Build your subscribers naturally. I mean, and already they're gonna drag in so many different people because what one streaming is the future. But I think if all three of those people got up, or just even two of them, like
It'd be
when
rap.
it comes to the numbers wise,
It'd be a rap.
they'll jump up to like 1 million subscribers or 500,000 within like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, because I think Max Kellerman was under contract where he couldn't work for like until like I
Yeah,
think it's about to be up where he can start working again. And
and
if I'm
I heard somebody
correct,
break that down, and yeah, I believe he set up his contract like that, where certain people, like I believe it was Dan Levitar, where he got out, he was like able to actually just sort of like jump into working again because he
yeah.
didn't want, but Max Kellerman wanted that extra money, or he wanted all of the money, and so
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, I'll step away. But I mean, this is the streaming world,
And
so
they're gonna
people
be
ain't gonna forget
sponsored
about him. So yeah,
Barstool Sports or whatever.
yeah, and so depending on how he comes out and what he does, like it'll definitely be a hit because a lot of people are missing him.
Especially and look at Cam and May shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It is what it is. Like people watching that. Like
I
so
think, and I would say now that I think people have a greater appreciation of Max Kellerman now that he's gone compared to when he was still
yeah,
here.
for sure.
Because I think even when he was still here, even me is like I was cool with him, but I wouldn't say I was a huge fan of him.
Yeah.
But now, like looking back on it, it's like, oh damn, you actually miss Max Kellerman, and so and you miss his taste, you miss his opinion on things, and
Mm-hmm.
so now when he comes back, whether he comes out on his own, whether he comes out, partnering back up with Marcellus Riley and bringing that whole Sports Nation stuff back, or he does something else. I think people will be
I
excited
need
about that.
I need him, Skip, and Cam.
I
And then
still
you bring
need
in Paul Pierce. I
yeah,
bring Paul Pierce in here and there because Paul Pierce was bringing that energy to that show when it was starting to die towards the end. Paul Pierce was like
yeah.
really bringing energy and life into there. And
Nah, Paul Pierce was doing the same. I actually thought that was going to save the show. Like give it a little bit more time,
yeah,
like this until the end of the year, through the end of the football season. I thought that would have like picked up because at that like I stopped watching it, and then Paul Pierce came in, and Paul Pierce was hilarious, gave some
yeah,
funny taste to it, some swagger to it, and it was like, oh, okay. It's like I was actually watching Undisputed again.
yeah. You tell me you got them four. They ain't even got to be in the same room all the time. But I'm just saying, if
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
them four working together, you can't tell me like that would be the best product out there. I think
I
like
still think the best sports show could have been with I still think Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley need to come back and do their show and just do that on YouTube, just stream it.
Jason Woodlock be burning bridges though.
Now he does, but apparently they kept I think they're still on friendly terms. But it's
Okay.
like that show that was like the best sports
That
show.
was the best show for a minute. Yeah, because Colin
Yeah,
got too predictable, and then the Shannon Sharp, Skip
yeah.
Bayless stuff
Speak for
was too
yourself.
like,
And something that's underrated is like Marcellus Wiley, I feel like he shined like playing off of Jason Whitlock. And I was just gonna finish saying it's like, especially like with Jason Whitlock, the monologues, uh,
yes.
the probably the best part of any sports show,
Hmm.
especially
Hmm.
how it like introduced certain topics and got him to going into
Hmm.
more like intellectual or nuanced conversation
Make
about
you think.
sports or about politics, etc.
Hmm.
Like it was definitely interesting. It kind of reminded me of sort of like really like over the last 5 years, 10 years, like who was better at the introductory monologues other than Jason Whitlock and Kevin Samuels? like,
I don't think anybody in the history of mankind ever had Jason Whitlock and Kevin Samuels in the same.
yeah, but it was like those two monologues, those two people doing their thing. I was like, oh man, I like
That's a
that.
fact. That's a
And
fact.
so, but speak for yourself. Like that show was fire. And
Yeah.
so I know they're both doing their own separate thing now. But if they were actually come back, because I still think like I understand the direction Jason Whitlock wants to go and what and
Hmm.
etc. But I mean, the bread and butter is still talking sports, and sometimes like not everything has to be extremely not just political or necessarily nuanced or go the road on the conversations he wants to take it on. And it can, I mean, because it's his own platform, and so he can have great avenues for that. But I think when he was just literally just sitting down and talking sports and talking the game and chopping it up with Jason Whitlock or the other guests they brought on, like that was the best sports show in America, in my opinion.
No, it was because it was different. It had some freshness to it and some originality. It didn't, and it wasn't like you didn't feel like they was just debating just to debate. You honestly did feel like Marcellus Wiley believed something different, and sometimes they agreed on the same stuff, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and Jason did. And I felt like it was I don't know, it was really good.
No, no, it definitely was.
Well, you got anything else? I gotta probably take off. I'm like 15 minutes away from hooping.
No, that's cool. I know. I think that's good. Good little way to end it.